Welcome to the Good Pod, where today we're talking about The Good Wife, Season 5, Episode 13, Parallel Construction, bitches. I'm one of your hosts, Jason Reed. With me, as always, Mercy Garza. Mercy, you good?
I'm good, Jason. I can't hear you very well.
I need to switch.
Are you calling
computers
from China or something? Are you
No,
Are you?
I need to switch computers. I just felt like somebody was listening to my other one.
Oh my goodness!
I got a nice.
We wouldn't want people to be listening in on our conversation. That would just be
that'd
weird.
be crazy. I got a quick little Chromebook from Walmart for like $100, and here we are. So I hope everyone's okay with the sound quality of this episode, because this is what it is. You know the man. They be listening sometimes, so you gotta duck the man anytime you can. Just kidding. Here I am. I'm back. I sound regular.
Are you good? Jason,
I'm good. I'm good.
Okay, good.
Yes, we're all good. We're all good because we're here. Season 5, episode 13. A LaMond Bishop episode where LaMond Bishop, aka Mike Coulter. As I talk about sometimes, the world kind of revolves around us. Because as I'm watching the Survivor finale, past week, there was a nice. There was a quick little ad for the new show featuring Mike Coulter that is called Cupertino, which is about Mike Coulter, aka LaMond Bishop, becoming a lawyer. He's going to be a lawyer this time,
but not LaMond Bishop.
Not LaMond Bishop. He's not going to be playing LaMond Bishop. He's going to be playing a different character.
But it is in the King verse, but it's not in the King verse, like this verse. It's not in the good verse, but it's in the King verse.
It's part of the King multiverse.
Yes.
It's not part of the Elspeth Goodwife universe, but it's going to be interesting seeing Mike Coulter playing a lawyer this time, when we've seen him on this side of things over on The Good Wife. Also, Mike Coulter cameo recently, a couple weeks ago, in the Daredevil Born Again episode as Luke Cage. So Mike Coulter's been he's been around the past few weeks again, because
love to see it.
Because the world revolves around this podcast, they decided Mike Coulter's in the zeitgeist again. Let's give him a LaMond Bishop episode to do over on the Good Pod. So here we are, another LaMond Bishop episode. Another great LaMond Bishop episode.
Funny because we are watching these in order.
Yeah,
like we know, but at the same time, it's like the universe conspires to support the pod. You know?
Exactly, because it's about us. That's what it's about. Yes. Before we dive too deep into the episode, we want to remind you of some free and easy ways you can support this podcast. You can do that by reviewing, rating, subscribing, wherever it is you are watching and or listening to this podcast. There is a way to support us. You can do that by clicking thumbs up on YouTube, subscribing on whatever podcast you're listening to, leaving us a comment on Spotify, leave us a comment on YouTube. You can do all those things that help us get into the eyes and ears of more people that would appreciate this content, like you. You can also just chat with us about any and everything. Give us your opinions on the show, on our podcast, what you think of us. You can leave us a note over on the goodpodfeedback@gmail.com. Chat it up with us. We'd love to talk to you. Also, if you wish, we'd love for you to also you go to buymeacoffee.com/goodpod and leave us a couple pennies, leave us a couple dollars, support us, buy us a coffee. I talked about it on the ultimate side of our podcast. I'm gonna do it again on the Good Wife here. We got some more support from our friend Carolina, aka XD Crazy, who we talked about, left a review last episode. Carolina dropped us a note. She bought us some coffee, and the note, she says, "You guys, I'm XD Crazy." In parentheses, my son set up that username, LOL. I like how she's really distancing herself from the XD Crazy. That wasn't me, guys. That wasn't me. She says, I, of course, listen to the episodes when I'm awake as well, because we were talking about the fact that she likes to go to sleep to our podcast.
Which I still maintain as an honor, to be quite honest.
Listen, she loves our voices. We have soothing voices. That's a compliment. She says, thank you so much for the double shout out. It's another double shout out for you here, Carolina. And that Will Gardner dream sequence was amazing. If you listen to the last episode, we kind of gave Carolina a nice scene to go to sleep to.
If everyone.
Yes, everyone. I hope you all enjoyed it in all the ways that I mean that. And she asked, did either of you watch Josh Charles's new show? Best Medicine. You guys are the best. Marissa has watched. Are you current on Best Medicine? Have you watched
I have a few episodes to catch up on, but I watched the first episode and I was like, I don't know, because Josh Charles's character is super serious, like super serious. And I didn't know if I was gonna vibe with it. And then I just kept watching. Like one night I watched like 5 episodes in a row. So
yeah.
It's definitely like, it's not prestige TV, but it's cuter than freaking Virgin River. I'll tell you that much.
Oh, it was a Virgin River hate.
Interesting. I mean, I watched a lot. My mom and I watched a lot of Virgin River, but like the season, what happened? Like, if you know, you know. Like, I don't even know what's going on with the show. But anywho, it's got that vibe of like cute little hometown small doctor type of thing. But I find it to be fun.
I watched like most of the first episode, and didn't like. I had to stop midway through the first episode, which I don't usually do, but something came up and I had to stop. But I never went back to it, so maybe I'll try to go back to it. As Marissa said, Josh Charles is very different in that show than Will Gardner here. Like Will Gardner has this like kind of witty, acerbic, like humor to him. The humor in that show that he has is like very dry and very like sarcastic-y humor.
He's very straightforward.
Yeah, and it looks a little different that show.
Yeah,
it's definitely time has caught up to Josh Charles, and he's aging dignified, but he's aging for sure. He looks very different. But yeah, so that's all the ways you can support us: reviewing, rating, subscribing, leaving us a coffee order. We'd love that. So yeah, with that all being said, Marissa, let's get into the episode.
Perfect. Well, Jason, I know we've been talking about how this show has been trying to move like Will and Alicia closer and closer and closer together. And while they were still together in parts of this episode, we did get a little bit of a reprieve in this.
Yeah, it gave us a little bit of a break.
Ahead from the competition, from the heat, I would say, from the like buildup of what we know is to come, a conversation and or more. We don't know, an elevator maybe, who knows, but it's definitely on a little bit of a break for this season, for this episode, which I have to say I welcomed. It was nice to kind of have a little bit of a different flavor to this episode.
We did have to have the obligatory like one scene mandate of the Will and Alicia have to be in a courtroom together for at least 2 minutes per episode this season, which they were.
And a look, like we did get like eye contact, but there wasn't as much like, I'm gonna try to one up you. I'm gonna try to like do. It was more covert. It was more under the radar.
They didn't spend the whole episode beefing and like being like, why are you doing this? What was that for? So we did get a little bit of a reprieve from that, which I as well am thankful for.
Yes. Yeah. So this one we're going to run down from start to finish because we have a lot of storylines that are being introduced. We have a lot of storylines that are being built upon, and they all kind of run into each other. So the start of this episode, Alicia is watching television with Grace. At first I thought, to be quite honest, that I turned on the wrong TV show because the episode starts with like, on the next episode of AMC's. And I was like, first of all, when did I get AMC? Second of all, what show do you think this was? Is this like their version of The Wire? Like I don't, but that's an HBO show, but maybe they couldn't say HBO, but I don't know. There was definitely like a parody type or a reference type TV show that was here because it was procedural. There was the line I wrote down from this little scene was, "You make your own lines." Of what? Yeah. I have no idea. But Grace was definitely into the show, and Alicia had no idea what this was.
Yeah, there's trying to be some mother-daughter bonding here to watching TV, and it's like this really gritty kind of like they did a good job of parodying that type of like show of being like, isn't this kind of silly and like kind of overwrought drama? So I guess it felt like almost prestige-y because it's a little more gritty than a procedural, but I guess maybe it was like maybe the version of
Homicide.
Did
you ever watch Homicide? Yeah, Homicide Life on the Streets
from like the 80s.
Yeah.
No.
Okay, it's not like from the 80s. I was old enough to watch that show, or I don't know. All right, I know Andre Brower. Andre Brower. R.I.P.
Captain Holt.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm aware of it, but like, yeah, it felt kind of like that, like very gritty. It felt almost prestige, where like it could be a show of today. It was very dark tones, like so maybe like an Ozark or something, something like that.
Yeah, but it was
something
almost in parody territory, but this is definitely something I don't know if like Grace should be watching on her own. Like I don't know. It was like
I was like,
we're staying
Alicia,
up late watching TV, and Zach is nowhere to be found.
It's like, Alicia, are you sure you should be letting Grace watch this? It's like, it's weird. And it had like this weird theme song track, like me and the devil. I was like, what is this?
It was weird. It was weird. In the middle of all this, the doorbell rings and Zach answers the phone, and we know who's on the other side of the door because we can recognize this man as Charles Lester, aka it's inconceivable, aka I don't know the actor's name, Walter. Well,
oh.
But I'm like, aka Unconceivable Man, aka Rex from Toy Story. Like, you know him when you see him. He is also LaMond Bishop's personal lawyer, Charles Lester. But apparently Alicia thinks that it's the cleaning guy picking up the cleaning.
Wallace Shawn.
There we go. Wallace.
It just came back into my mind. Wallace Shawn.
Yeah. That's who's there, and he plays it off really well because Zach's like, the piping on the jacket is leather, handing him the cleaning. It's like, oh, thanks. When does she want this done by? And then tells Zach, can you also tell your mom that Charles Lester is here? And Alicia's like, everybody go to the rooms, get out. And they're like, what's going on, Mom? Like, no, go to your rooms. And Charles is like, there's a problem. And it's like, not a problem I can tell you on the telephone. So let me pull out all of these folded pieces of paper and tell you that there's a bond hearing at 10:30 in the morning. LaMond is currently at the Lake Street police station, and meanwhile the kids are looking up Charles Lester. So just to kind of set up the situation, we have not really seen what was going to happen with LaMond Bishop with the great schism of the law firm. So we just know that LaMond is going to have whoever he wants represent him whenever he wants them to represent them.
We did have LaMond show up to the Christmas party that Florrick Agos
that is true. Yes.
So I guess we're to intimate that at some point LaMond was like, "Hey, why don't we split the baby? You guys at Florrick Agos can handle my criminal enterprise, and I'll keep the legitimate business with Lockhart Gardner."
Yeah, that's where we find out it ended. But at this point, it was like, oh, I guess, okay, you're here. And we also had the kids asking questions about LaMond Bishop from that party of like, who's that guy? And also hearing that he's like, because I think Alicia tells Grace he's like the most well-known drug dealer in Chicago or whatever. So they look up on Chum Hum and find out that Charles Lester is kind of like his spokesperson and his lawyer. And so they find reference to a murder.
Yeah, and also could be responsible for several murders dealing associated with LaMond Bishop, but that's not clear. There is suspicion that he has that he, I guess, contracts murders or carries out
we
murders.
Don't know. We don't know.
Yeah,
for real. We don't know. Back in Governor Land, Marilyn is not giving in on this report that she has to write about the whole stuffed jury or stuffed ballot box. But Eli is really pressuring her. Like Eli is mob bossing this super hard, and not like Surrey Field mob bossy style. Like legit, I'm going to withhold resources from you, aka Peter, if you do not write a report that clears Peter. And Marilyn's like, I'm not gonna do that. Like I told you what I need to be able to do that. And Eli's like, just say that Jim acted alone and Peter knew nothing. She's like, nope. That's not what's going to happen. And Marilyn's having this conversation with Eli on a cell phone while she's walking down the street, and we get a van pull up to Marilyn, and we are introduced to the Office of Public Integrity. And this dude who plays this dude pretty much in every TV show he's ever been.
Yeah, played by Eric Bogosian.
The character's name is Nelson Dubek.
Yes. Eric Bogosian, who I think most recent credit is the newer show Interview with a Vampire on AMC. He's been in Billions. He's been in Succession. He played a captain on Law and Order: Criminal Intent. So he's I think you probably watched Billions in succession, so you could probably tell me more about who this guy was. Was he like similar to this guy on those shows?
Yes. Yeah, he's definitely like a here for business type of guy. Yeah, so he is in charge of the Office of Public Integrity, which I'm pretty sure does not exist, but
maybe
is basically like investigating this voter fraud thing, which we'll find out a little bit later. So back in court, we go to court, and we are here for the LaMond Bishop probable cause hearing. And who is at the bench? None other than Judge Kluger, whom last we saw had called Alicia to ask her out to lunch. So that's a little awkward. And we also have Lockhart Gardner. They're representing LaMond Bishop's non-criminal interests. We have Alicia and Carrie representing his criminal interests. And then we also have Charles there just as his personal lawyer. So we've got a pretty packed defense side. And then on the other side, we have one lonely SA who he's not alone because Jason, he holds hands with justice.
Yeah. I love Kluger's like trying to like josh with the guy. He's like, the guy is so serious and also probably like really scared. He's like, I don't know what even you're talking about, Judge. I'm just here to be serious. Judge's like, okay, thanks for playing along, my guy.
Yes. And I have to say, when I saw this state's attorney, I was like, well, he's new. We haven't really seen him. But two, he's not new. Maybe I've seen him other places. He looked vaguely familiar to me, but I didn't recognize him from anywhere. Jason, have we seen him in other places?
Yeah. 88 Asher is played by Jack Davenport. I think probably what I know him best from is Smash. I think we've had like a few different people from Smash that shows up on this show.
Yeah.
So he was the like philandering like writer of the show, if I recall correctly. Forgot what his role was. Also, Marissa, you might know him from the morning show, a show that you watched, but I didn't.
Yes. And Coupling.
The BBC version of Coupling, not the American version that failed terribly.
So bad.
Yes. So bad. Also from Flash Forward, I racked my brain because I watched Flash Forward. I racked my brain. I was like, who was he in Flash Forward? Because I remember that show vaguely, but I don't remember his role on that show.
Oh, yeah. No, I remember that show, but I don't remember that show at the same time.
One of the better Lost clones, because that was the thing where like we're all going to be lost. We're all going to give these like weird sci-fi, mysteries that it's going to take seasons and seasons to solve. And a lot of shows tried that and failed. Flash Forward is one of the better versions of that archetype and that trope. But yeah, that's where Jack Davenport has been around for a while.
Well, and we also discovered he was in Pirates of the Caribbean as well. Yes. As a guy interested in Keira Knightley, which I guess was most of the cast. I don't know. Like, it was that time. Everyone was into Keira Knightley. Remember, she was everywhere.
Yeah.
So we've got Judge Kluger on the bench. We've got S.A. Asher for the prosecution. He is arguing the evidence is overwhelming. And what we have going on the defense is a let's impress LaMond Bishop to see if we can get his whole business type of thing. Like, Will is like answering objecting every single chance he can get. Like, Carrie's kind of clocking this. So they're definitely still trying to vie for his, I don't know, good graces.
Well, they want all
money.
They want all the LaMond Bishop's business. They don't want just the legit business. They want the drug business too. And they're trying to one up Alicia and Carrie, because Alicia and Carrie are like, okay, we're like, this is kind of our show. You guys are just kind of here. Like, I love when they come in like, oh my God, look who it is. Here with us again in the freaking courtroom. It's like, we see them more now than we did before. And it's just like, before Carrie and Alicia can object to anything or say anything, Will and Diane are like, objection, Your Honor. Like, trying to really suck up to the LaMond Bishop. Like, see, we like to talk in court. We object a lot of things. We're here fighting for you. And Carrie clocks it like immediately. Like, oh, they're trying to get all of LaMond Bishop's business. Like, they're trying to one up us all the time.
Yeah. So the state's attorney calls a witness to the stand. I forget this. Oh, Miss Moretti, a realtor who was showing, who had sold LaMond Bishop his building and was going to go show another unit. But as she was doing that, she just so conveniently saw 3 black guys get out of a SUV, and they had duffel bags, and within those duffel bags were bricks of white things. And what I love at this point is like, here's a very easy, clear-cut situation, and then you have they mentioned white bricks, and you cut to Will going, huh. And I really had no idea, like, where he was going or what he was thinking at this point. I'll talk about that in a moment, but that's the setup for this witness, is that she saw 3 black men get out of an SUV with duffel bags.
Because that drug deals go down like that all the time, way out in the open. Just drugs, just flinging out there, like, hey guys, here's the drugs, like, check it out, like, just for anyone to see and hear.
It's my understanding also that the bags have the word drugs written on them.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's very Bugs Bunny. Like, Bugs Bunny really told us how to do these things.
Just drugs, Coke in like big letters,
not a cola.
Yeah. You know, I'm sure Will's like, oh yeah.
That's what I was like.
I've been skiing in like a day or two. I really need to get back on those slopes.
I was like, was that like, did he buy Coke from LaMond Bishop? Like, where is this going? But he gets up and walks out and calls Howard Lyman, of all people. I was like, okay, where is this gonna go? They cut back to the van where with the Office of Public Integrity,
which is real, Marissa. I looked it up. It's the Offices of Public Integrity investigate and prosecute government corruption, fraud, and ethical violations by public officials and agencies.
Well, do I have a job for you? You might want to look at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. I'm sorry I doubted your existence. There's plenty of work for you to do.
I mean, I don't blame you for figuring that didn't exist, because it's like, if they existed, they'd be doing something right now, right? Like, this can't be real.
They are sleeping on the job.
I gotta be hearing about them in the news if they were real.
Oh boy. Okay, so in the van with the Office of Public Integrity.
In the van down by the river.
I do like, we were just talking on Elsbeth about like self-referential and like jokes that can be made within an episode. And in this episode, Marilyn's referred to as Miss Garbanzo. And she's like, no, Miss Garbanza. And she learns that, hey, we're not going after Eli. We're going after Peter in this. And Marilyn's like, I can't help you. I'm not going to help you. I can't help you. And they're like, funny thing about that. So yeah, you're like the ethics lady and everything, and you're a lawyer, but you do not have privilege in this situation. So if there's anything going down, you could go to jail for this. And here we have pregnant Marilyn starting her, like, she's so concerned about her baby. She's wearing a Walkman on her belly all the time. So, this is kind of a big deal for Marilyn.
Yeah. And this is going to be kind of Dubek's thing, is to threaten people with jail time.
Oh my God. Yeah.
He does it several times.
You get jail. You get jail. Everybody gets jail.
Yeah. That's his big carrot on the stick. The motivation is like, you don't want to go to jail, do you? So you better start singing.
So back in court, we find out why Howard was called by Will. And I have to say, Will left the courtroom, did not say anything to anyone. He just went and he got the job done, because he put Howard on the stand to basically say, hey, I was assessing a property for LaMond Bishop on February 26th. And who happened to be showing me this property? None other than Miss Moretti. And the real
exact time that she said that she had seen LaMond
yes,
Bishop.
Exactly. Well, and the government objects, like, so this opinion we're gonna have. Howard's like, no. I took panoramic photos.
Panoramic photos, not just regular photos. Panoramic photos.
Okay. So Kluger's like, okay, well, that's interesting, and the essay is like, so about that, we have like the DEA here, and the DEA is like, yeah, I rushed down here to let you know that Miss Moretti was wrong. She said the 26th, but she really meant the 25th. And this gets the entire defense team to be like, oh, objection.
Yeah, it's like, bro, what is this, amateur hour out here? You coming in here talking about, ooh, front, sorry, we got the date on the calendar wrong, sorry. Yeah, they're not gonna stand for that.
Yeah, so Kluger releases LaMond on bail, but he says, I'm not like releasing charges or anything. We're gonna go to trial, but don't play this. Like, don't do this. Tell a story, stick to the story. As they're leaving court, Alicia tells Carrie, I have lunch. I think maybe could be a date, but she doesn't really tell him that. It's like, I have a lunch with Judge Kluger. I think I should cancel it. And Carrie's like, why would you do that? We're like in front of him right now.
Yeah,
you don't want to
piss off the judge. And for those that don't remember, the last time that we saw Judge Kluger, he was acting real like
interested
with Alicia during the last trial they had together. And at the end of that episode, he literally calls Alicia like, hey, you want to go to coffee sometime? Like basically kind of asking her on a date, which we were all wondering, like, is he asking her on a date right now?
Yeah.
What's happening? Wow. And at the time we were like, is this going to be picked up at all? Like, are we going to come back to this? We weren't sure. And now we're coming back to it. And apparently coffee morphed into a lunch to talk about his new book, which is like,
okay. We kind of skipped some steps there, but like,
interesting.
I don't know what, but it was weird to begin with, and now it's even weirder because she's got a case in front of him.
Yeah.
So they're going back to Florrick Agos and Associates, and LaMond and Charles are already there. Like, I love that they're already there. They're in the elevator, and they greet Carrie and Alicia and kind of pull Alicia into the elevator.
You don't do that, right? You don't, like, if I'm Alicia, I'm like, actually, no. Like, I'm not going to get in the elevator with just you two. Like, and if I'm Carrie, I'm like, no, Alicia, you're not. Like, if you and I are out anywhere together, and some like rogue kingpin and his like maybe enforcer go, hey, Marissa, we want to talk to you by yourself. I'm not letting you get in that elevator, Marissa. I'm like, no, I will hold
I would hold back for you. And I would be like, I'm going to record this so that we have it.
We're not doing this. This is not what we're doing. Like, we're not getting mysterious elevators. We can meet somewhere in public. Like, and if you want to talk to her by yourself, I could be like 10 feet away, but I'm not letting you in an enclosed space with this person, like by yourself. Like, that's crazy. But Carrie's just like, oh yeah, go ahead. Like, by the way, can we get some better story for Carrie? I miss doing Carrie's voice.
I know.
I feel like Carrie has not gotten his due.
Someone's coming up. Someone's coming up.
Yeah, I want more for our guy. He's just kind of been there. Like
he has. Yeah, he's. In this case, LaMond goes, hey, so there's no way that she could have seen me on the 25th. And Alicia's like, oh, because you're innocent and you didn't do it. And LaMond's like, no.
Sweet, dear innocent Alicia.
I did this on the 25th.
Yeah, so it's like, yeah, she had the date right the first time, but like, she definitely didn't see me doing it. I did do it, but she's not the one that saw me do it. Like, so what is going on here? What is happening?
And so basically, like, they frame this up so that there's a thinking here that there's a confidential informant, a CI, is here that's kind of moving information between the government and has an in to this information with LaMond. And apparently last week there was a meeting at Florrick Agos with LaMond's team and the Florrick Agos team. And so Charles wants to know who was in that meeting. And because the location of where LaMond was going to be during this time was shared with Florrick Agos in case there was any trouble. Like, I don't know why that's a thing. Hey, just FYI, I'm going to be over here. I mean, this was before Life 360. I understand. But
well, I think it's like, I'm going to be doing some real shady stuff at this place at this time where there is a possibility I will be arrested if I get caught doing something. So just be on alert.
Yeah, you might be ready. Yeah, I know. But I just think I thought it was funny. So he shares the location and Charles is like, I'm going to need these names. Like, give me these names. So then the elevator opens at the bottom floor again, and Carrie is now there, but also joined with Clark and Robin. One thing about Charles is he knows everything about everyone. So he is going in, he's making nice with everyone, and is getting Alicia a little nervous. She's like, okay, we can talk. We're going to talk in here. Like, we're going to go talk. Like, let us talk. And Carrie's got this look on his face like, what is going on? Which, again, to your point, get in the elevator, Carrie. Go help her out. Like, I don't know what's going on. But as Charles is pressuring for these names, Alicia says, okay, if it was one of them, I will investigate. I will find out. And if it's true that it was one of my people, I will take responsibility because this is my firm. And LaMond's like, this is my life. Like, I don't really care if you take responsibility or not. Whoever does it is going to be in trouble.
And like, if I'm Alicia, I don't know if I'm be like, I will take responsibility. Like, Alicia, like, this is you might die if you take responsibility for this. If I find out it was like Robin or Clark, I'd be like,
bye.
That was them. Like, if you want to take care of them, take care of them. Like, but that wasn't me. I ain't take responsibility for nothing. I take responsibility for nothing nobody else did. Like, that's them. You can take them out back. You can take them in the elevator by themselves if you want. If they did something, that you can take them. Don't take me. Take them. I don't take responsibility. No.
Well, and also, she didn't do this, but don't put it in writing. Don't put that you take responsibility in writing ever.
Well, I don't think writing matters to LaMond Bishop. If you tell LaMond Bishop, I'll take responsibility for my people, I'm like, oh, okay, sure. If I gotta kill somebody, you're the first one on the list.
Yeah, that's true.
Go ahead.
So Alicia goes and starts her investigation. She starts talking with Clark, and I just love this interaction because it's very Clark. It's so good. She asks, "Did you talk to anyone after the meeting, the LaMond Bishop meeting?" And he says, "No, I didn't talk to anyone." "Did you take notes?" "Yes." Where are those notes?" is the question she asks. And he says, "In my desk. I lock my desk." At this point, they're interrupted by Charles, and Charles is like, "Okay, I'll get caught up." And Alicia's like, "Yeah, Clark was just saying, that he didn't talk to anyone and he didn't show anyone his notes." And Clark's like, "I didn't say that." To which Charles gets like, "Oh, you didn't say that? So you showed people your notes?" And Clark's like, "No, I locked them in my desk. I just didn't say that I didn't show them to anyone. I wanted to be very exact."
Like, if I'm Alicia, like, okay, everybody, team meeting. Everybody take a knee real quick. This is LaMond Bishop. Okay. Watch what you say around LaMond and his people. Because
you wanted to be exact though, Jason.
Nah. You need to be
exact.
You need to be on your P's and Q's. Do not say anything that would lead anyone to suspect that you might be the leak, because that's your life. That's my life. That's your life in the balance. So everybody watch what you say. Don't say nothing crazy. Be like, oh, actually, I meant this. No, we're not doing that today. No.
Yeah.
Get on to people. Get on. Because all these Clark, Robin,
we get to see this montage with Charles questioning everyone pretty much. And like it's a very like one question you think is being asked to one character goes to the next. But what we find out throughout this entire montage is that Carrie has a friend that works at the DEA. His name is Howie, and he hasn't talked to him since 2002. So we know that much. Robin is just like so taken by Charles because she's reminded of her dad. And Charles is like, "Oh, that's so cute. That's so wonderful. But you used to work at the Treasury, right?" And she's like, how? Yeah. And like, "And you were there last week or yesterday?" And she's like, "How did you know that?" There's a little bit throughout this that Robin is like, "Is Charles a better investigator than me?"
Yeah. I mean, according to what we see, he might be better than Kalinda, because he's like, he knows every single thing about every single person.
Everything.
And like, you can see Alicia being like, what the heck? Because I think this is probably like our second time seeing Charles Lester. And, Alicia the first time was like, this kooky little guy is like interesting. Now it's kind of like, oh, this kooky little guy is like dangerous. Like
he knows
stuff. Yeah.
He knows his stuff.
It's definitely more than meets the eye to Charles Lester. I think Alicia's finding out more and more as she's around him.
Charles Lester is one of the most interesting characters in this entire series. I love him. Like, he's so good. Alicia's like, "Look, Charles, these are the most honest people I know." And I was like, "What are you saying?"
I said, huh? These are 3 most honest people I know ever in your life? Clark, Robin, and Carrie? Clark, who you barely know, like you are definitely acquainted with. Robin, who you met 6 months ago. The most honest people you know. I was like, that's a little bit of hyperbole, I think, Alicia.
Yeah, it was a little much. And Charles is like, "Yeah, but like some of these people talk too much," because Robin was yet that dying this entire time. She was just chit-chatting. And so at the end of this, Charles is like, "Look, I hate to ask this of you, but I need you to be available around 3 p.m. tomorrow. I need you to be on call. Some stuff's going down. I need you to do that." And Alicia's like, "Oh, okay, I guess. I gotta go. But sure, okay, fine. I gotta go." Turns out she's late for her lunch with Judge Kruger. So not Kruger. Klugler, not Freddy Krueger.
Kluger.
And at first she runs into the scene, and Kluger is like, no problem, it's fine, just take a seat. You can see he's there reading a book, and the moment she sits down, he goes, it's kind of unfortunate, I gotta go, because I just got a phone call from a judge, and I gotta go take this call. And Alicia's doing everything that she can to kind of like recoup the situation. She's like, well, can I reschedule? Can I walk you? Can I do all this stuff? And he's like, actually, I gotta get this conversation started on a phone, so I can't. Why don't you just stay here and get a drink? It was very weird. I don't know.
Well, we'll talk about what I think that was when we find out a little more information in the story here that we're about to say. But I think I think Judge Kluger might have got a call that was like, I don't think you want to be associated with Alicia right now.
A lawyer or from a judge who could have been Charles.
Well, I don't know. I don't even know if it was that. I think Kluger might be hit on some information that we're going to find out. And be like, maybe I shouldn't be like associated with you right now.
Shouldn't be chit-chatting. Speaking of drinks, Carrie and Kalinda. Okay, so last time we saw Carrie and Kalinda was asking Carrie to go for a drink. He wasn't sure, but now they're having drinks. Apparently, some time has passed, but Carrie is still giving Kalinda the silent treatment. Like, he is basically stonewalling her this entire time. She's like, whatever, I'm gonna leave. She walks back and says, listen, if you want me to talk, say talk, but don't play these games. Like, don't do this to me. I was very kind of taken aback by the amount of stonewalling that was happening here. There hasn't really been anything in this situation. I thought that they had like their we're even now moment. I didn't expect for this to continue on the next time they got together for drinks.
Listen, Carrie's still butthurt, right? He's still in his feelings. He's still in his emotions. He likes hanging out with Kalinda, but he's still wary of
Sure. So Marilyn wants to go meet with Peter. Okay, she's like, this guy's following me. I gotta like figure out what's going on. And who is at this meeting? Not Peter. It's Elijah. And Marilyn's like, okay, he's avoiding me. I must have done something. Like, this is insane. And she says to Eli, you have a great talent for turning friends into enemies. Because she's like, I really wanted to help you, but he keeps pressuring her to issue a report that clears the governor. And she's like, no, I'm not going to do that. And this is enough to get Marilyn to give the tape to the Office of Public Integrity.
Yeah, like, Eli keeps playing games and, giving her the runaround with Peter. It's like, all right, I'll go over you. I'll go above you. If you're not going to cooperate, I got to look out for me.
Well, and I got to say, like, she tried, right?
Yeah.
She tried.
Several times.
Yeah. Then we get this fun scene where LaMond Bishop and Charles go driving.
This is great. I love it when you get like a little bit of an in-universe look into like the everyday life of people. Like, this is just like a bantery moment just between Lester and Bishop of like, talk about driving statistics. Like, they say driving is the most dangerous thing you can do. And he's like, well, I'm the one driving. He's like, exactly. Then it'd be your fault. It's just like,
the statistics are the same no matter who's driving. And that's when he's like, yeah, but I'm not driving. You're driving.
It'll be your fault if we crash. It's just like, it's just a fun little peek inside the everyday life of these characters.
Yes.
It's not a conversation that moves plot. It's not a conversation that is like vital to the story that you would think you would see with characters. It's just like what if these two were just shooting the shit? Like, what would be happening? What would be going on? It's such a great. I love when shows do that.
It's so great. It's so great. And they get pulled over by the police. First of all, at least it wasn't a detective. Second of all, they have the DEA in tow. So they get pulled over. The DEA is like, well, there's cocaine in plain view in the rear of the vehicle. Please.
Again, it's like, yes. Please. Because a fully functioning kingpin, a drug kingpin, just drives around with cocaine in plain view of anyone. There's nothing weird about that, right, guys?
Yeah, they're like, so we have full rights to basically investigate. And I love what they did here is this was definitely a bait, right? Like they put this together. They put bags of pancake batter into duffel bags, and the DEA is like, oh man, that's like a lot, right? Like that's gonna be so many years or whatever. And they're like, Charles is like, for Bisquick, check the bottom, check underneath the bags, and there's all of these pancake boxes, which I thought was pretty funny.
I still hope they tested the powder though. Like I hope that's not the easiest we got out of a drug. I was like,
yeah,
like, see, I have pancake boxes folded up in the trunk. This can't be Coke, right? They're like, yeah, you're right. The evidence is right there. You got the boxes, so that must be Bisquick, right? Like
again, very Bugs Bunny, very hilarious.
I hope you tested it. And whatever poor soul had to like make up fake cocaine bricks with pancake mix, because that wasn't LaMond or Lester. They had some underling do it.
Of course. So back at Florrick Agos, Alicia is looking for Robin. Like, hey, did you see Robin? She's not answering her phone. Robin walks in, and Robin's like, yeah, Mr. Lester told me not to answer my phone because I might be needed at 5 p.m. And Clark pipes up and he's like, he told me the same thing for 7 p.m. And Alicia's like, he told me for 3 p.m. So Alicia's like goes and confronts LaMond and Charles about this in the car, which was hilarious.
You keep putting yourself in these dangerous situations with these men. Like, what are you doing?
Like, what? And LaMond,
do you want to die? Do you want this to be your last day, Alicia?
LaMond and Charles like explained to her, okay, so yeah, we gave everyone a different time. And do you want to know what time did we get pulled over? 3 p.m. Alicia, at your time. We told only you. And we told you about 3 p.m. and then you went to go meet with Kluger. So I don't know what to tell you, but
my life, you flash before my eyes. I'd be like, this is it. I'm dead. Like they're going to kill me right now in this car. Like they think I am a snitch. They think I am telling on them to the government. I'm dead. Like goodbye, Zach. Goodbye, Grace. Goodbye, Will.
Jackie.
F off, Jackie. I'll be seeing you in hell. But like, I'm dead.
Yeah. And it's so interesting because they're just like, that's interesting. Isn't that interesting? Did you tell anyone about this? And she says, I did leave myself a voicemail reminder. Back before voice notes, back before the Notes app, people would voicemail themselves, they would email themselves, they would text themselves. This was her way of reminding herself so that when she checked her voicemail, she would be reminded of this. I don't think the timing really works out, but okay, Alicia, sure, fine. That's what you
I've never heard of this. I was like, this is a thing people do.
Really?
Like, you can't like set an alarm. Like they had alarms on phones back then, right?
They did.
You can't write yourself a note. Like I was like, okay, that seems like a very 90s thing to do. It's like we're in 2014, not 1990.
Woman who cannot do anything technological without Zach, you know?
Yeah, I guess.
So LaMond at this point, it's very clear that someone is listening in to Alicia's phone. So LaMond's like, don't use the phone. I'm going to order some burners and have the burners be dropped off. And we get this scene, which was so surprising and so fun. And part of the reason why this is all in a rundown is because we get the reveal that this wasn't a DEA wiretap, but it was the NSA from callback from at the beginning of the season, where we got to learn about 2-jump warrants and all of this stuff. And so the NSA is still following Alicia based off of that original warrant.
Yeah, and it's we find out that it's it's not both of our guys, because one guy is swapped out.
He's on The Office at this point.
Well, either that or you start in Silicon Valley. Zach Woods was our NSA guy before. We have the other NSA guy that's still stuck there because he can't get a better job, I guess. He's still there. And then we get someone that could be familiar to some people that are familiar with the television landscape. This was Malik Penkali. He was Jonathan from 30 Rock. If you remember 30 Rock, he was Jack's assistant, kind of sniveling, maniacal assistant. He was on Weeds. I don't remember him on Weeds at all. But he was on quite a few episodes of Weeds. He was on Whitney. I watched that sitcom.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Cummings. And Phineas and Ferb, which I don't think he's neither Phineas nor Ferb. It's not a show that I watched at all, but he's a long running cast member on Phineas and Ferb. So this man is out there. He's all over the place.
He's around. Like I was like, it's that guy. It was one of those moments for me.
Yeah, so that was a very fun reveal of like, oh, the NSA is still listening. They're still here.
Yeah. And LaMond apparently is used to this because he calls a guy, gets the burners, but the NSA is listening to LaMond call for the burners. So they're also probably talking or tracking LaMond, obviously, at some point.
Well, because as we heard from the two-step warrants, like because we're able to like lengthen the warrant, now we can listen to people. We can listen on people that are part of Alicia's tree, right? World. So because he's part of Alicia's world, we can now listen to LaMond's conversations.
Yes.
So this is a wide-ranging warrant. We can listen to anyone that's in contact with Alicia.
Because of terrorism.
Yes, that's how it started anyway.
So the burner phones arrive at Florrick Agos. Alicia's like handing them out. And it's so funny to me because she hands them out. And she's like, this is different than the time we used the burners for that one other thing. And then she's like, the packaging can really cut. So be really careful. I thought it was so funny.
That's so true, though. That is so true.
That is true. That is true.
And then Clark's like, you guys are used to this? Because like Alicia's just like, all right, we're doing the burner phones again, guys. Here you go. Here are your new burner phones. And Clark's like, you are too comfortable with this. Like this is a freak you out. I was like, oh yeah, we did this when we leave Lockhart Gardner. We're used to this type of stuff.
While this is happening, Carrie mentions to Alicia, hey, we got to go back to court because we got to go get a preservation order. And she's like, for what? And he's like, not for much, but the process will show that they lied to protect the wiretap. And she says to him, that was almost Will-like. And he says, thank you, Diane. Because, I don't know if you've heard, Jason, but they are the new Will and Diane. I don't know.
What? How come no one has ever said that before on the show? How come Carrie himself has not said this 8,000 times on the show? Alicia, we're the new Will and Diane. Alicia, we're like the new Will and Diane. Alicia, that Will and Diane did the same thing when they were starting out. Okay, we get it. You're a younger guy. She's an older than you woman. We understand. We get it, Carrie.
They're like the new Diane and Will, though.
Oh, I hadn't thought about it that way.
At this moment, Alicia's phone on her desk rings. It's Eli. She answers very, very formally. Hello, this is Alicia Florrick. And Eli's like, okay, that's weird. And Alicia's like, hi, Eli. I'm going to call you from another line. Why couldn't you just say, I'll call you right back? And just switch the phone line. Yeah, but she says very blatantly, I'm going to call you from another line. This gets the NSA going, uh-oh.
Well, because Eli, when she picks the call, he's like, hey, I got to talk to you about the illegal shit Peter did. She's like, oh, whoa. Let's stop. Like, hey, relax, chill. I'm going to call you from another line, my G. You can't be saying illegal stuff on this phone line.
Well, and it's almost like, I don't know. Obviously, they don't know it's the NSA, I guess. But like, Alicia's like, oh, this is my line. So I'm going to move to another line and that will stop the trace. Over at the NSA, they're like, we'll just track it on Eli's side. No big deal.
Like, we got access to him too. Like, we don't need you, Alicia. We're good.
And then they also get the burner phone number because of the call with Eli.
Yep.
And at this point, the NSA guys have to bring it up to their boss and be like, hey, I don't know how this happened, but we got exposed out of the situation.
Yeah, it's the same boss guy from the first episode where the NSA guys are featured, and he's still treating them the same way. He's like, you idiots, you come with me, like, dragging them.
Like, it was not our fault. He's like, I didn't say it was. He really hates his job. Yeah. Carrie does bring up the wiretapping in court, and Judge Kluger goes, is that true, to the DEA? And they're like, why do you want this? And Carrie says, I want to preserve the wiretap for later, just in case anything comes up. And the state's attorney says there is no wiretap. And Alicia accuses the state's attorney of lying. And apparently this is not possible, because if someone in the federal side were to deny a wiretap, how far we have fallen, were to deny a wiretap, they would have to go to jail.
Yeah, and it's like there is no DEA wiretap. A DEA wiretap does not exist. We're telling you the truth. There is no wiretap ordered by the DEA.
Yes.
Very specifically, there's no DEA wiretap.
Yes. And the motion at this point is denied because they're like, well, what is this about? And Carrie's like, okay, fine. Let's move to dismiss the charges as a whole. And the judge is like, okay, I'm going to go think about it. Let me leave. And Carrie and Alicia like ask themselves, okay, if we know we're being tapped, should we tell Lockhart Gardner? Because they're probably being tapped as well. Back at the NSA, they have the DEA guy in front of them and say, like, hey, I hate to tell you this, but Alicia knows she's being tapped. And the DEA is like, I didn't do anything wrong. I just need you to know that there's still a war on drugs, bro. And you like shared information with us. And the NSA guy says, the drug war didn't bring down the Twin Towers. And the DEA guy's basically like, it's always that with you guys. Like, you always bring up terrorism. And he says very clearly, and I think something the audience hopefully would have, still can pick up. He says, this has gone way beyond terrorism, and you know it. Yeah. And the NSA guy at this point is like, all right, we're not sharing anything with you anymore. You could go ahead and do your own investigation, do your own homework. And the DEA guy goes, I would if I could with the power that you have.
Yeah. So this basically cements the fact that the DEA guy was just like, riding on the NSA wiretap. Yes,
but it also exemplifies the fact that this little thing that started to catch terrorists after 9/11 has expanded and expounded and is so valuable to other members of the government that they are willing to come talk to the NSA. And it shows the overreach of the NSA and the power that the NSA had and still does have in the everyday makings of the country.
Yeah. I mean, and let's remember how this has like spiraled out of control, right? This was originally a wiretap based on Danny Marwat, who was a storyline in season 2, I think, where he was suspected of talking to terrorist people in, I think it was Iraq or Afghanistan. So they had a warrant on that guy to his wiretaps. That led to the wiretaps on our guys over at Lockhart Gardner. And then to extend the warrant and make it a 2-hop warrant is because they heard Nisa, Zach's little girlfriend, crying on the phone, and because her phone is registered to her father, who they found out her father was someone that donated money to
a list.
Yeah, who supposedly donated some money to a supposed terrorist at one time or another. That is why they were to extend things into all of Alicia's contacts, all of who Alicia's talking to, which got them into Peter and Eli's orbit. Like, it has spiraled so far from what it was supposed to be. And you're right. It's a perfect encapsulation of how people, like how government can slant things and just basically do what they want to do.
That's why it's so important. Like, I mean, I know we're tired. I know we've been living through this for so long, but it's really important to pay attention to the language that government uses and to think 2 steps, 2 hops, 2 whatever ahead, so that you to see the full reach of what some of these things can actually do. If it's almost like if certain communities are being asked to show papers, maybe other communities would be asked to share papers later, and then also maybe papers might be something that you would need to show to vote for the almost. You see where I'm going?
Almost, yeah.
You see how that could work?
Not really realistic, but I can see where you could where you're going with this fantasy and fiction.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Thanks. I'm so glad we don't live in this world. Because just the NSA world is scary enough. So anyway, so that little exposition, that's what I really love about the show in terms of how they introduce something like the NSA and kind of have the DEA guy come in and say, this started as terrorism and has gone so far beyond. Mm-hmm. So, of course, they decide to go tell Lockhart Gardner about the wiretap, but they don't send Alicia because that would be dumb. So they send Carrie. And Carrie's
Marissa, they can't send Alicia because you know who's here in the room? Kalinda's here in the room.
Kalinda, that's true. Yeah, that's right. And basically, Will and Diane are like, thanks for sharing. And Carrie leaves. And then the immediate thing is like, do you think this is real? Or do you think he's trying to poach clients again? Like, I don't know. Kalinda, why don't you go find out if Carrie's lying or not? And Kalinda's like, happily, I will happily do this. Back in court, the motion to dismiss the charges is denied. Judge Kluger says we are going to trial. At the same time, over in prosecution land, S.A. Asher is like, hey, we have a substitute for state's attorney. S.A. Alvarez is gonna, take over. And Judge is like, what is happening? And he's like, I'm resigning. He's like, oh, no, you're recusing yourself? He's like, no. I am resigning as a United States attorney.
I'm quitting.
Full stop.
I quit.
Because of interoffice reasons. So there's something going on here. I would venture to say it might have to do with the NSA. I don't know. Carrie and Alicia are greeted this time when they get back to the office by Nelson Dubek and the Office of Public Integrity. So now he's been making his way through everything, and he's like, hey, I got a videotape I want to show you. And when he shows Alicia this tape, Alicia is like so over anything to have to do with Peter. But Nelson is noticing, it's like, oh, looks like you've seen this before. Like, you're not as surprised as I would expect other wives to be. And Alicia's like, listen, my husband has been under investigation for the past 4 years, except for that one part when he was in jail. But, he's always being investigated. And Nelson, I have to say quite rightly, is like, you're not really helping your case here. Like,
right.
The man has been investigated all of the time.
Like, you don't think it's weird that you're with a man that is constantly investigated? Like, you don't think there's any fire in that smoke? Like, you think it's all just smoke? Like, there's just fireworks going off, but there's no fire. Like, that's what you think, Alicia? It's like, because she's like, I used to think like you. Like, whenever anyone was investigated, they obviously were guilty. But let me tell you something, sir. My husband's been investigated for 4 years, and he hasn't been found guilty of anything, except for that time he was guilty and went to jail. And Dubek's was like, okay, but like, that's still not normal. You know that, right? Like,
and also, you want to know what makes this time different, Alicia Florrick? Is that you were the lawyer on record. So guess what? You could go to jail if something is wrong.
Again, this guy loves to threaten people with jail. You get jail. You get jail. You get jail. You get jail.
So Alicia picks up a phone and then puts it back down, and then picks up her burner phone and calls Eli and says, hey, look, this is what's going on. I was asked about a tape, and Eli's like, the Trib said that they weren't going to run it. Where else could they get this tape? And they wonder if Marilyn gave the tape over. But basically, Eli tells Alicia, hey, look, Marilyn told me that there's only one person that could really pin this to Peter, and that is Will Gardner. Do you have any goodwill here? Because if they don't have Will, they don't have anything. And Alicia's like, yeah, no, that
nope, that ship has sailed. And how did Dubek get the information to go to Maryland for this video? Do we wonder? Because we know there was a anonymous tip somewhere that the Trib
Moody. I think it's Moody. I think Moody sold himself after that meeting with in the diner with Eli, where he didn't really give Eli any assurances that he was gonna like back his man or say anything. I think Moody went to the feds and was like, look, I'm in a bit of a pickle, but I'm happy to help you if you help me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that I could definitely see that. I could definitely see that making sense.
Because his name has not come up at all. It hasn't been who moved these dumpsters. It hasn't been who. It's all been focused on Peter.
Yeah,
so
true.
But good question. I didn't even. Yeah, I was like, oh yeah, no, he just knows. Everybody knows because everyone knows Peter's a jerk face.
We just always assume Peter is guilty of something.
Yeah, Peter's always doing Peter things. Okay, so at this point, Kalinda has started her quote unquote investigation of Carrie, which is under the sheets, under the covers.
I'm like, how is this set? Because I feel like if I tried to do this, It wouldn't work. I was just like, the cover would just be like covering me. It seemed like they were like in a tent. Like it seemed like the cover like set up a fort in their bed. It was just like
California King, you know, like the big sheet.
But it's as if the sheet is like floating above them. It's just like
by a camera.
Yeah. I would love to see the behind the scenes of that moment. Like, how did you all set that up? Like, what's the setup for that camera shot?
And she's basically like, as they're, you know, post-coital, like, why didn't you talk to me? I can't trust you. I can't trust you either. Excuse me. And then says, well, were you telling the truth about the wiretap? And he's like, yeah. Like, did you tell your clients yet? He's like, we're getting our house in order, and you should too. And then Kalinda goes back to Diane and tells her that he's lying.
Oh.
And I was like,
Kalinda.
What? What?
Is our Kalinda sense off? Is our Kalinda sense not working? Is the Carrie D the one antidote to the Kalinda sense?
Or is she trying to win favor and win trust, and this is like another secret that she's gonna keep for him? But
that's a pretty big
secret.
Yeah, I don't think she'd do that. I don't think because that's huge for Lockhart Gardner to lie about their stuff being tapped. I think if she found out that Lockhart Gardner is being tapped, she would be like, no, like for real, we're being tapped. I just think she had the wrong read, and Clinton doesn't have wrong reads a lot, and so this was interesting. I was like, oh,
well, she has. I mean, she's dead to rights to Alicia, so she doesn't have any other connections to humans, I guess.
Exactly.
But yes, what is also funny about this is the NSA has been listening into a conversation because Diane calls Will on the phone and says, we're okay. Yeah, we're okay. So Carrie just wants us running around. Yeah, Carrie wants us running around. And the NSA guy is like, I think Will and Diane get it on. Yeah. And the other guy's like, that is not romantic chemistry. Like, I don't know, which is totally a speak to the fan. Like, I thought that was great. So we do get Charles, Alicia, and Carrie and Robin all talking about what they know about Miss Alvarez, the new SA. And Robin knows basic things like where she went to school and what she's doing. But Charles Lester is like, yeah, but where'd she grow up? What's her mom's name? What's going on? Like all of these like deeper things. And Robin's like, why would you go that deep? Like,
because I need something to threaten her with. If it comes to that, I need to be able to intimidate her with these personal information to have her know that I know about her life.
Yeah,
so
and he's scared. Like, watch, I'll show you why I need this information, because they go and they talk to Mr. Asher and basically trying to figure out why he left, why he quit. And he's like, I'm not going to tell you. Like, I'm not going to answer your question. My responsibility. I am such good friends with Justice. I hold hands with Justice all of the time. That my responsibility does not end with my job. And Robin's like, yeah, but it does if someone committed a crime. And Charles like, hey, what about your son? Huh? Your son's going to college? Love it. My nephew's at the same college. Your daughter. And he like knows names. He knows exactly where these kids are. And this kind of gets S.A. Asher to be like, okay, something's a little weird. And again, you see Robin's face like, huh? What?
Like, what are you talking about?
What are you doing? What are you doing? But in the course of this, S.A. Asher does let out the fact that this was not about LaMond Bishop. And this was not about the DEA. And when pressed, he says, if I have a confession to make, I will tell my priest. And Charles Lester says, this isn't over yet. It's not over yet because he puts Asher on the stand. And Charles Lester is not a trial lawyer. This man does not know how to be in front of a judge. So he's doing the best he can. And he asks Asher, did you write this warrant? And S.A. Alvarez objects. It's like he can't answer because it's like still part of our strategy. It's still part of our work.
Well, he says there's no foundation about this wiretap. Like,
well, right. Well, yeah, that comes up after. Like at first, she's just like, this guy knows the ins and outs of our case. Any answer he gives, any answer he gives is going to blow up my case. And Lester says, well, we believe there's an active wiretap. You know, so I just want to find out more. The judge is like, cool, stay in the lines of the wiretap. But if you go outside of that, you're basically going to get kicked out. So then he asks, was the warrant based on a sworn affidavit by DE agent Lee Cheswick. He says yes. And then the next question was, were you aware of any wiretaps that were involved in the sworn testimony? This is when Alvarez objects for the reason that you had brought up of there being no foundation, because there can't be any foundation if there's no wiretap.
There's no proof of wiretap, so you can't keep going on this questioning as if there is a wiretap because you haven't proved there's a wiretap.
And to which Alicia objects and says exactly the same thing of like, well, there can't be anything if they're hiding something.
Right, because Charles is lost. He's like, I don't know what to do. And Alicia's like, let me step in. We can't prove there's a wiretap because they're hiding the fact there's a wiretap. So
yes,
bam.
Yes, and basically, S.A. Asher is like, I'm not going to answer any of this because it can incriminate myself. So I'm going to plead.
And this tells Kluger all he needs to know. I like the fact that Kluger isn't like, he's a little abstract. He's like, oh, well, that tells me that there's something there. Like I don't need the proof that there's something there, but that right there tells me there's something there. So
yeah, there's a reason. There's something happening here. So outside in the hallway, Carrie reviews with Robin what Asher said about the wiretap. He's like, it wasn't about Bishop. It wasn't about the DEA. So then he pulls out this article from Rutgers. It's like, hey, so the NSA, did you know that they can do this thing where basically like because different government agencies cannot directly use the information that the NSA has on them, they'll build another evidence trail parallel to the construction of the evidence trail that they have from the website. This is known as parallel construction. And I was
bitches. Like, where do the bitches come from? That's what I want to know.
I don't know.
This episode's named Parallel Construction, bitches. Like, no one ever says that throughout the course of the episode.
And it's so like off-brand for the entire thing. But anyway, but this is like a real thing that, like, again, educating the audience.
It's kind of like it's kind of like backtracing a warrant. Be like, okay, we have the end result. We know something hinky's going on, but we gotta backfill the information. Well, it could be true or not, but we gotta backfill some information.
Well, and we can't have a line between this route of evidence, one route of evidence, and the wiretap, and what the NSA told us. Like, they have to run in parallel. They cannot intersect at any time. So Alicia goes, so they're surveilling Bishop? And Carrie goes, or us? Like, it could be either way. So Nelson makes his way, good old Office of Public Integrity. Where does he end up? Where does he need to get information from? I don't know. Could it be the NSA? So he goes to the NSA asking for wiretaps about Alicia, and the NSA guy, the guy who hates his job, is basically like, look, I tried playing nice with another agency before. It didn't go well. And Nelson's like, yeah, but that wasn't us. Like, that's not me. We didn't do it. And then the NSA guy's like, we're already on shaky ground because Alicia already knows. And again, Nelson's like, okay, but that wasn't us. And the NSA ends up showing the wiretap of Eli asking about Will to Nelson. And he's like, well, this is really interesting. Back in court, Judge Kluger is like, look, this case is messed up. There's so much going on. I don't know. It's enough to show me that the warrant was compromised, so the motion to dismiss is granted. Basically, LaMond, you get out. LaMond, you get off again. Like, bye. Back in the household, the Florrick household, Alicia is watching TV with Grace. Grace again knows all of the things about the show. Alicia doesn't know it unless she gets more wine. And Alicia decides, okay, let me call Judge Kluger and see if I can reschedule this thing. And Judge Kluger is not amenable to this at all, because she asks, like, hey, can I can we talk about the book? And he's like, no, I'm not writing that book anymore. And I've taken up learning Mandarin, to which I've learned how to say Zazhen, which means good night in Mandarin. And the NSA is listening to this, and they feel bad for Alicia at the end of it. So this is the conclusion of the Judge Kluger Alicia
saga.
Yeah,
I kind of think Judge Kluger got a tip that the NSA was listening to Alicia, was just like, oh, I don't need to be involved in that. So I'm going to just like distance myself from Alicia because.
Do you think it was that, or do you think he's involved in some NSA shenanigans?
I don't know about that, but I think maybe the grapevine. He's like, oh, they're getting investigated for stuff. Like, I don't need to be involved with that with Alicia. So I'm gonna just go ahead and like give her the old Heisman and be like, nope, I don't need to talk to you anymore. I'm gonna distance myself far away from you.
Could be. But
it could have been much clearer. They could have been much clearer on that though, because it's a little up in the air of why he's had this cold shoulder approach to Alicia now.
Yes. And then we get the final scene of the episode where our good old buddy Nelson from the Office of Public Integrity shows up at Lockhart Gardner to visit Will. And Will's kind of like, look, I thought, of course I'm going to talk to you. It's either like a now or later thing. But if any of your questioning has to do with the time that I was responsible for representing Peter Florrick, I'm bound by privilege. I'm not going to answer anything. And Nelson's like, yeah, except for if there was like a conspiracy to commit a crime, you're not bound by privilege then. And if you talk to me, I'll offer you transactional immunity. And Will doubles down and he's like, I'm not going to break privilege. I'm not going to do this. And Nelson says, well, hey, didn't his ex-wife try to steal clients from your law firm? You're going to do time for this man. You're going to do time for Peter. And Will's like, I'm not saying anything. And Nelson says, okay, fine. Here's a subpoena. Nice talking to you. Nice chatting to you. We'll talk to you very soon. And Will says, can't wait.
I kind of think Will is like trapped between two different minds, right? He's like, okay, I do hate Peter like a lot. And I would love to make sure that this man goes down for something. But also, this new asshole is walking to my office and telling me I gotta do something. And whenever somebody tells me I have to do something, I don't want to do something. So I feel like he's trapped. He's like, I hate Peter. I want to see him go down, but I also don't want to do what this guy's telling me to do.
Yeah, but it's also like, I think there's a part of it where he knows that Alicia's implicated in this.
Right. Oh yeah. True. He still has those lingering feelings for each other. He didn't want to see. I think his rage has subsided a little bit since the desk flipping incident.
Yeah. And he's had enough cooking to like get over something.
Yeah, I mean, he's had a few downers with his coke trip. I was just like, I hate Alicia, but I don't want to see her in jail. Like,
the man still loves her.
He still loves her, but he also kind of hates her. He's like, he has these complicated feelings, but he's like, at the end of the day, I definitely don't want to see her in jail. But also, it's kind of like
specifically for something that I have control over stopping. Like,
yeah,
like I don't know if he'd like swoop in and save her, but he's not going to be the reason she goes to jail.
I didn't think of it that way, but I mean, but he did just threaten Peter the other episode of like, I will like tell some shit if you like let go of your waiver of confidentiality. But now when he's kind of when he's presented with the out for that, he's just like, no. So was he not thinking about Alicia in that moment where he threatened Peter, and now he's kind of thought about it. He's like, oh, actually,
well, he was like, that's when they were head to head in the courtroom. Now that we've had like this little cooling off period, he can
rethought it. Yeah, I can see that for sure. That's interesting. I mean, the fact that Peter's fate lies in Will's hands is like this chef's kiss. A great story beat.
Yeah, so good, and also like I love when Will is in that position of being like determined and sticking up for what, like, he's gonna do something. There's gonna be some flashy something. I don't know what's gonna happen because I can't remember pretty much anything. Thanks 2026. But I'm excited to see what happens.
For sure. So that's the episode. Marissa, you want to tell the good folks where they can find you, what you're up to nowadays?
Yeah, everything can be found at itsme.marissag.com. You can find links to this podcast and all of the other podcasts that I am on. If you have not watched Elspeth, if you want to binge Elspeth, I don't know, what that experience is like, but you could let us know if you binge Elsbeth. We have Elsbeth coverage waiting for you over on the main feed and also on YouTube. We have 2 separate feeds, one for The Good Wife and one for Elsbeth, so you can easily binge all of that coverage as well. You can also find me on Whirlwind Podcasts talking about Pretty Little Liars, one previously on at a time, and my sister and I are very slowly but surely getting back to Star Trek The Next Generation on our very first watch and talking about it over on the USS Sisterhood. I know there's some mess you got to be chatting about, Jason. Tell the people where to find you.
Yeah, just getting knee deep in that mess. You can find me talking mess in a couple different places. You can find me over on my podcast, the Perfect Match podcast, that I do with my friend Asia Welch. As we discuss the show Married at First Sight, we don't have a current new season, so we're digging into the vaults. We're going to season 12, and you can find us there exclusively on Patreon to come join the fun. We got rewatches waiting for you. We have tier lists, we got rankings, all that fun stuff associated with the show Married at First Sight. You can also find me talking a Perfect Match. You can find me talking about the show Perfect Match, which is kind of like the Mess Olympics, the battle of the network stars of mess and dirt over on the Rob Pets Podcast Network. Me, Asia Welch, and Kirsten McGinnis are talking about Perfect Match. That season was a short season. It's almost wrapped up. We got one more episode to go next week, and then we're done with that. So if that floats your boat, come on over, check it out. But till then, till next time, stay good.